You know, one of these days, I'm actually going to become Pikachu. So for those of you who don't know, May 16th of this year, I went for a 3-week trip to Morocco, Africa. And I wanted to share with you my experiences there, and in case you haven't seen my previous video, I made a video compilation right here. You can click this video right here for a few seconds. If you don't click that, then you can click the annotation up in the corner. But I went to Africa, and I made a video compilation, and I wanted to actually talk to you guys about my experience and the people that I went with, and some of the stuff that I learned and grew and went through as a person. My trip to Africa completely changed my entire perspective on so much. So in terms of the organization, I actually didn't go with an organization. I went with a group of people who actually have a house in Morocco, Africa, and it's on the outskirts of the city, and that's where I stayed for the duration of my 3 weeks there. And what we would do is, from this house that I was paying rent to stay at, we would go out, and they had a translator, and we would find women in the poor regions of Morocco, Africa, out in the fields that were living in mud huts, literally. In 2006, there was a massive earthquake that destroyed a lot of the houses down there, because the houses down there are made of rock, mud, hay, that's it, and wood, little things of like sticks and stuff. And when an earthquake happened in 2006, I think it was 2006, it demolished all of these houses. And even 7 years later, they're still suffering from that experience. So what we would do is we'd go out and look for these poor people who have literally nothing, and then we'd ask them about their life and their trials and why are they in this position they are. What really shocked me about this whole experience of finding people to build houses for was the fact that these women who we were helping, one of the houses that we built, the second one just went up actually just last month, right after I left. These widowed women had been divorced by their husbands for other women. That's the kind of crazy thing about the religion of Islam, at least where it was in Morocco. And I'm not saying all people of Islam do this, but Morocco is more of a cultural Islamic, whereas there are radicals in Islam in Morocco. But in Islam, where I was at, in the countryside, Islam is a lot more radical in the terms that a man will just simply divorce his wife after he's even had 4 or 5 kids with her because he finds another woman more beautiful. And he impregnates her, has a bunch of kids, goes on to the next person. It's really disgusting behavior that happens over there. And what's weird is that unlike the US, a woman gets half of whatever, that doesn't happen. When a man divorces his wife, she's divorced and she is left with nothing. She is left to take care of the kids all by herself, no money, no nothing, no job, nothing. And I've learned a lot of things about women in the terms of what religion of Islam can do and how it treats women. That really shocked me. Having actually been in the environment and witnessed some of the stuff that I saw, first-hand experience, it really is saddening and disgusting to me. But you know what? That's why I'm there, because I went there to help people who needed help. So we would search out these people who are widowed women, and we would build houses for them. The houses consisted of about the size of maybe this bedroom by times 3, and it costs about $8,000 to raise a house. We raised $8,000. We went over there, paid rent to live at the house, and then every day from 7 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. with a few tea breaks, we would build their houses. Now, the house process was a little bit different than America because we don't use any wood. We don't use anything like that. We use the environment. We actually dig out a ditch, as I will show you in a minute. As you dig out the ditch, you then fill the ditch with rocks, and then with the rocks you cement it, then you get rebar, you put rebar in the corners of the building, and then you work your way around the building, then you have to fill in the entire base of the house inside the square in which we're building, fill it up with dirt, and then you have to level it, then you have to put rocks to make the foundations solid, and then you cement that, then you put more rebar, and then you start stacking bricks, and on and on and on. It makes the foundation of the house is probably the hardest job because you have to make sure it's sturdy and you have to make sure the measurements are right, or else the house will just collapse. I mean, granted, these houses are built with rebar that we used on the supports in the house, but because earthquakes happen quite often there, you have to make sure you build it correctly. In any event, here are some pictures of the house, as you can see right here. This is one of the ditches that we were digging right over there. You can see this how beautiful it is over the ledge of the hill. We're digging out the ditch right here. This is one of the destroyed houses from the earthquake. You can see it's completely demolished. It's just mud and clay and rocks and hay. So that was one of the houses that was destroyed, and we were building, one of the houses that we built was right next in front of that house. As you can see here, this is what one of the houses look like when it's fully bricked. You can see the rebar sticking out in between the cement foundations. These bricks are really easily to break, but this is all of the material that they have in this region. But here's the interesting part. Here you can see what I was just describing. This is the foundation work. We already had the cement the ditch dug out, we cemented it, and now we're placing down, and we're trying to level it with rebar to make the foundation really solid. This next photo, as you can see here, is us placing rocks. This is another part of the foundation. Once we fill in all the dirt, we got to place rocks down in the environment to make the foundation that we're soon cemented. And that's what it looks like completely done with the rocks, and now we're going to cement the whole thing. And after that, the supports on the corners of this, we can start building up the actual walls themselves after we put it into the floor. Here's a photo of me taking a break. You can see the difference in my skin color of my arms. It's dark and then all of a sudden really white. And if you actually want to see how some of the houses are actually being built hands-on, you can check out the video annotation up in the corner. I have actually video of how we're doing it and the work that we were doing in my video compilation. But overall, the experience in Africa changed my life completely, because one of the things that I saw is true appreciation, something I've never seen the way here that I've seen over there. The reason I say this is because the family that we built the house for, we did it for free. We're not charging them. We've raised $8,000, and we said to them, hey, we want to build you a house because we see that you're in need, we see that you're struggling, and we want to build you a full house, all paid by us for free. And it wasn't until we actually finished the house, which I'll be showing a picture in a second, we finished the house where by the time I left from the completion of the house, I was nearly in tears. The reason I say this is because I was not only so humbled, but this family was so grateful for what we did for them. I mean, I want you to picture this happening in America. I want you to picture you being poor and someone coming up to you and saying, hey, I see that you're struggling. Here's $50,000. We're going to build a house for you, and then you can live in that house. Would someone do that? Is that something that would normally happen in America? No. Granted, there are charities and people do good work, in America, but what I'm saying is someone just raising $8,000 and say, hey, you're struggling, we want to help you, here we go, and we spend 3 weeks of our time building them a house. A full-size house. And to see someone cry from being so grateful that you're doing something for them and are so appreciative humbled me beyond anything I had ever felt. And I cannot describe to you seeing someone so happy from my actions and our group actions of building them these houses. It was a phenomenal experience. And granted, some of the people that I was with, they were religious, but I don't even care about that. The point is, I went there because I wanted to help people. And I did that, and I got to see poverty like I've never seen it. I mean, when you can see a mother trying to take care of 4 children, and those children are happy with a doll with no legs and missing a head, and she's happy. This little girl right here, one of the girls that we built the house for, you can see her, and we built 2 houses. We helped on 2 houses by the time we were there. This little girl, to know that I've helped her and her family is the most rewarding experience I have ever had in my life. And it's an experience that I want to go back to. I've never seen someone with no shower, no electricity, no nothing, be so happy with their life. And you see people in America who are unhappy because they don't have this, or they don't have that, or they don't have this, they don't have their car that they want, they don't have this that they want, they don't have the relationship they want, they don't have the marriage that they want. All of these things which we, myself included, are so selfish about. Like, we're so selfish. We look at these things and say we don't have it good here. Yes, we fucking do. We have it better than almost any place. And I'm not saying that to brag about the America. I'm saying that because that is the truth, having been in this poor region that I was staying in Morocco. To see a mother and father in a child's eyes fill with tears because you've been able to impact their life is worth it. It's worth using all the past 5 months of my AdSense that I made off of YouTube for this trip. In fact, my AdSense wasn't even enough to cover the trip. I also sold a bunch of my comic books, as why you see no more comics on my wall for the most part, is because I sold the majority of them trying to raise money because I wanted to do this. Ever since I've been little, I've always wanted to go to another place around the world and help people, and I finally got to do that. And it was the most rewarding experience, most humbling experience, most slap in the face to everything that I own and have, and here in America, we have so much. People commonly ask me, Daniel, you have chronic depression, how do you deal with it? And quite frankly, by doing things for others. Because I can tell you from a shadow of a doubt that my coming back from Africa, I had never felt so happy to be able to help someone and seeing someone so grateful for something you did for them. Because it doesn't really, I mean, in rare instances it exists in America, but it's just nothing you would see here. And the family, when we left, said that my future children, he told us that my future children will know about the actions and the kindness that you showed our family. And when he said that when his children grow up, he's going to let us tell them all about us and how we built them a house for free of charge and spent $8,000 to raise money and gave them a free house rather than a mud hut. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's an experience that I cannot just put into words. That's why I'm showing you pictures. That's why I have another video actually I'm working on right now of showing you more stuff of my time in Africa. But overall, the time I had there was phenomenal, and it humbled me to a point of where I can't look at poverty the same ever again. What I'm planning on doing next year is I want to go to South Africa again, or go to Russia. My plan is I would like to go to Russia, film it, take my recording stuff, and I would like to work in some of the orphanages in Russia where there are children that are disabled and are struggling with actual mental issues and, disabilities, and actually work in the orphanages in Russia themselves and help children with disability. I don't know if that's going to work out or not because it's a very expensive trip, even more than my Morocco trip that I'm going to be going to, but it's something that I want to do, and I want to start making a difference in more people's lives, because the reward and feeling you get from knowing that you've made a difference in someone's life across the world who has nothing is indescribable, and it will change your life completely. I guarantee you that. So thank you guys for watching. I have another video working up on my time in Fez, where I eat some camel and have tour around the city of Fez. Thank you guys for watching me. Thank you guys for supporting me, and thank you all for watching my videos, because without it, I would not have been able to go to Africa and fulfill one of my biggest dreams of my life. Thank you guys. You are my fellow reptiles. Peace, the rep out, and have a fantastic day.